Hello there everyone, how you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we'll be going through r/pro revenge, where we've got some nice stories for you. Now, sit down, get comfy, maybe click the like button and leave a comment to help in the algorithm, and let's get started. My hag of a stepmom gave away my PlayStation 4 while I was away in college, so I rent out, quote-unquote, her house while she was on her honeymoon with her newest husband. I have been reading lots of Reddit lately, especially entitled parents, but made a new account when I came across this page. I never thought I'd actually try to contribute something. Until now, Reddit has just been my guilty morning coffee read. So here goes. I'm an only son. My mom died of ovarian cancer at only 55 years old. It broke my dad's heart. They had been together since college, and they were the same age, with my dad being a month older. I'm 22. And I'm about to graduate college with my degree in chemistry when the main events start to occur. I went to college on a full-ride scholarship. This is important later. My dad met my new stepmom when she was my mom's nurse at the hospital, where she spent her final days. My stepmom, Grace, played all the right notes to gain my dad's trust. She was empathetic to him, nurturing, comforting after my mom passed. I was 17 and old enough to sense that she was just trying to weasel her way into getting my dad's resources. But it was up to my dad if he wanted to be in a relationship with her. I was in my final year of public school and had just won a scholarship to attend college out of the country the following year. My dad warned my mom for a year. And that whole time, Grace would check in on him by phone every month or so, in my opinion, to scope out the possibility of sinking her hooks into him. After a year passed, Grace took the gloves off and went hard after my dad. Grace was only 40 when she did this, and when she and my dad started seeing each other. I didn't like her, but at the same time, my dad didn't seem so depressed anymore, so I tried to be less pessimistic about her and gave her the benefit of the doubt. In my gut, I did not trust her though. But we are Scandinavian, and at least in my family, the son does not tell his father what to do, or even offer any opinion. Grace is from the Czech Republic, if you're wondering. God, I mispronounced that hard. Sorry. Don't cancel me. My father was a very successful banker during his career and amassed quite a portfolio of wealth. I'll spare you the details, but after 6 months of dating, Grace and my father are married. My dad never really got over my mom though, and he was getting weaker and weaker, even though he was only 57. Since his health was fading, he called me to him and asked me this point blank. Boy, what do you need to set you up in this life? I told him I don't need anything. I'm a man and can take care of myself. But what are you even talking about, Dad? You're going to be around for decades yet. I did remind him that he had living sisters with children, my aunts and cousins. I also reminded him that I had a full scholarship to college, so don't worry about giving me any cash. He was dead only a year later at 59. I, of course, have seen lots of Hollywood movies, so I consider the conspiracy theory that maybe my dad's nurse's wife poisoned him and made him sign over all his money to her, but I really honestly do not think that's what happened. Other relatives didn't like Grace either, but they knew my dad was totally in love with my mom, and that her death utterly broke him. Well, long story short, my dad bequeathed his 5-bedroom house to me even though I wasn't expecting it and didn't ask for it. He gave me a small endowment to each of his sisters and their children. He left about 80% of all his existing money to Grace, which amounted to several hundreds of thousands of dollars. My dad ignored me because he's generous to a fault, and still gave me several tens of thousands of dollars, which were very useful to me. Grace tried to put on a friendly front, but I could tell she was angry as heck that she didn't get my dad's house too. That belonged to me, and I had the legal papers to prove it. She was especially mad because we live in an extremely upscale and trendy location, and houses are hard to come by and easily sold for massive profit. During the first few months after my dad's death, I had the nauseating, creepy experience of knowing that Grace was trying to feel me out, to see if I might be into a little relationship with her. Gross. She still stayed at the house though, because over the last 3 years she had gotten used to living there and was acting like she owned it, even though I officially owned it. I was always away at college and only visited my dad's old house once every couple of months. And even then, it wasn't to see Grace, but to see my cousins who lived just a few miles away. I downplayed the fact that it was really my house, and over the months I think Grace gradually forgot she really had no legal right to the house. She probably believed that sooner or later, because I never asked her for any of the hundreds of thousands of dollars my dad left, that I was somehow independently wealthy and I would just give up my house to her. I knew I'd eventually hydrogen bomb this girl when she started dating some new guy only 5 months after my dad was in the ground. And one time, when I came home from college after graduating, she and her new boyfriend, some sleazy looking D-bag named Ivan, who was only a few years older than me, were acting like I was a guest in my own house and that they owned it. I played along. Grace told me she gave away my PlayStation 4 to Ivan's cousin because I'm too old to play with video games. I don't even know this mother effer, and you give him my PS4 to give away to some other little crud who I also don't know? I quickly changed all my network passwords the same day. I smiled, but I knew what I had to do eventually. She also said that she and Ivan were getting married because I just can't mourn your father forever. I have to move on with my life. I tell her that I graduated college and already secured employment with a local firm and will soon find a new place to live. She looks thrilled, especially the part where it looks like I'll soon have a new place to live. Then in a patronizing way she tells me, "You always have a place in our house though. You're welcome to stay whenever you please." Gee, thanks Grace, really generous of you. What I really say is that I'll probably have a new place in 3 months. She says that it's wonderful because she intends to go to her homeland and have a wedding with Ivan and afterward have her honeymoon. She assures me that it's a local affair, otherwise I didn't fight you, honey. And anyway, I know you're so busy. I congratulate her. She asks if I can watch the house for her. Watch my own house? Sure. What I really say is of course I'll take care of the house. I'm careful not to say your house. She and her D-bag fiancé, who I'm pretty sure is only there for Grace's money, go on their trip and immediately put out advertisements in rental websites offering to lease my house. I hire movers and have all of Grace's furniture and possessions boxed up and put in a storage rental facility. I retain all of my parents' furniture that they had before my dad met Grace. Locks? Changed, all of them. Within days, I am inundated with dozens of inquiries regarding my amazing furnished house with fantastic views. I rented to a wonderful young family, a barista and his schoolteacher wife, and their 2 preteen children. They pay me with their first and last month's rent, and sign a lease for a year. I warn them about my crazy stepmom, who thinks this is her house, but I present them with contact information to my lawyer, the same lawyer my dad retained, in case they need any assurance that I'm on the level. I also give my lawyer the information about the storage facility, including the fact that I generously paid for 4 months of storage in advance, which is a whole month longer than Grace's honeymoon adventure. I then found a great apartment in the city, near my new place of work. There I met a woman in a restaurant I frequent at night after a long workday. We have been dating 6 months now and are engaged to be married. Grace, of course, tried to shriek and cause trouble when she realized she got kicked out of my house, but my lawyer quickly shut her mouth without having to ever speak to her garbage face ever again. From what I hear, her and her trash husband left the country, and I assume they're blowing through my dad's money and will soon be broke like they usually do when they taste a little bit of what they think is the good life. So maybe Grace will go and try to exploit some other lonely man into giving her his money. Speaking of money, the house that I rent out is generating so much money that not only am I able to help pay for my cousin's college, but I moved into a larger apartment of my own together with my fiancée. I love my job, but really I could survive solely on renting my dad's old house. And to think, if Grace had only been cooler and nicer, I might have let her stay at the house, just to be good sport. And definitely if she stayed the hell out of my room. But no, she had to act all proprietary, so I had to make her homeless as a wedding gift. Postscript. I bought another PS4, even though I didn't use my old one that much. It didn't matter, it wasn't for Grace to give away. You don't give away other people's things, you give away your own things. Which is why I chose to kick Grace out of my house. Because it's mine, and I get to decide who stays there. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, it helps the channel a lot. See you next time.